Very warm greetings to each one of you who have joined today on Zoom and YouTube. A deep gratitude for taking out time for this session on charismatic leadership traits. Now, when we talk about charisma, it has three key elements. Number one, presence. Number two, power. And number three, warmth. When we say presence, to be present in the moment, to be a good listener, which many times we miss. When we say power, to be that inspiring speaker, to be that inspirational speaker, to be that encouraging speaker, to be that visionary speaker, where you are able to make an impact and persuade your audience. You are not only able to speak on the stage, you are able to have a good conversation, you are able to negotiate. That's what where the power comes in. And number three, when we say warmth, it's all about how you are attending someone, you are how is your humility, how humble you are, how comfortable you are able to make the people in front of you. That is where the warmth comes in. So these three elements, presence, power, and warmth, makes the charisma in general. And if we look into the history of charisma, after we had seen unfortunate incidents in the parts of Europe where Hitler was considered to be a charismatic leader, the term use had reduced significantly. There was no people who were using charisma. Charisma was like out of the use, out of the dictionary of being used. But later on, I think in around 1970s or so, then people again started talking about what is charisma. And when we talk about leadership, charismatic leadership makes a significant impact and makes a significant difference. And what we will be doing in the session today is learning those observable traits of charismatic leadership that can help you become better in whatever you are doing. And now I will be sharing my screen with you so that we can go slide by slide into the key elements of my sharing today. Now, my presentation is up and running. And if you see this slide, the first slide, the title slide, it's a time for lunch for most of the people who are attending here today. But I have taken a story of a breakfast, or maybe idli if you are having in your lunch. We will see that what are those traits what are hiding in your food. That's the way I have presented. And let's see what's next. Before I go on to what's next, I also would like to express my gratitude to Professor John Antonakis, who from where I have taken these 12 observable techniques, tactics, which can help us make a difference. And he had been an individual who had been into this research for more than 2 decades and has given us these points. You will find these points in some other places also. But we will exactly go on how Professor John has given to us and see how it can make a difference to us. Now, let us see this story of Lakshmi, who was running an idli shop. She used to open her idli shop, in Madurai, as the story says, at 5 a.m. The fluffy idlis, the fresh chutney, and she had a team which used to feel tired. And every Monday, she used to read a task list. And every Friday, at the end of the week, work week, she used to wonder that why no one else cares as she cares. Because she used to feel from inside that she, being the owner, an entrepreneur, owner of the business, she takes ownership. But that's not what was reflecting in her small team she had. Then one Monday, she decides to drop that list. And she tells a 90-second story. In that 19-second story, there were some key elements. The grandmother's steamer, the auto driver who used to come every day for the last 30 years, and the kitchen goes quiet. Everyone was interested to listen to her story, short story. And by that Friday itself, the sales of the business were up by 11%. When she decided to drop her list, that what we have to do, and convert it into a story, it made a deep impact. So if you are a business owner, or if you are a manager, if you are a leader, you need to check on yourself that whether you, in the coming week, you will be reading a list or you will be telling a story. Now, charisma isn't magic. We say it's 12 habits. Now, I've spoken about Professor John Antonakis, who had been in a university in Switzerland, and who, as I said, that studied charismatic leaders for 2 decades. And what he found in his research was that charisma is 12 specific observable behaviors which can be learned in any afternoon, in any single afternoon, like today in UAE. From Dubai I'm speaking, it's afternoon. In any single afternoon, you can learn those. And what he observed was that when he tested more than 500 leaders, after they had been taught these techniques, the leadership ratings went up by 60%. So, what we are taking up today, what we are learning, it has been proven that these can make an impact in our leadership. Second thing, what was found, that 17% output can increase by a single charismatic speech. A field experiment was done. Let's say, take an example that there is there are 3 groups, and one of the group is told that if they are able to increase the sales, if they are able to make a difference, they will get certain incentives. And in the second group, there were no incentives and no charismatic speech. And in a third set of people, there was only a charismatic speech. And it was found that the impact in the first group and in the third group was significant. For the first group, it came up because of certain incentives, certain people felt motivated. And in the third group, where there was no motivation, where there was only a motivation, there were no incentives, and then also it made a significant difference. So you can see that in how charisma can make a significant impact. And what we will learn today, in we have divided these tactics into 3 buckets, where first bucket is words, second bucket is substance, and the third bucket is delivery. These 12 tactics which we are learning today have been divided into these 3. And in few minutes, as I said, you will learn all, and you can apply from tomorrow. And you need to see that which one you would like to apply from tomorrow onwards. Now, tactic 1 to 4, which falls in the bucket of words, it is important for us to understand that when we are speaking, we are making use of words. And words that we paint when we speak make a significant difference. And this difference, when you are choosing words or you are presenting your content, you can do that differently by any of these four which you see on the screen. The number one is metaphors and analogies. Now, when we say metaphors and analogies, it's not easy to learn, but it's also important to understand that whether it be a metaphor, whether it be a simile, whether it be an analogy, that make things simpler. That makes things interesting, and that encourages people to listen to the speaker. So, in a simile, we say directly that this is equal to this thing is equal to this thing. And in metaphor, we compare one thing with the another. And we use analogy to make complex things easy to understand. And here there is an example which says that our shop is a lamp, not a warehouse. Such a beautiful statement. When a person listens to this statement, he feels encouraged. The second thing is stories and anecdotes. Now, stories each one of us knows make a deep impact. Whether it is a story of how the business has grown, whether it is a personal story on what happened in a personal life, everything makes a difference. And a story has key elements. It has characters, it has a start, it has some problem and a resolution. When these three or four elements are there in a story, that story becomes impactful. And when we talk about anecdotes, we are talking about one specific incident. And if you remember that your 30-second story or anecdote can beat a 30-minute strategy memo. This is how we can create a deep impact with the stories. Number three, contrast. When we compare something with something else, and that is how you can structure your words. Here there is on the screen, there is an example that my story had a breakfast, or it's a restaurant where the breakfast is served. And we are not talking about breakfast. We are talking about something in those 5 minutes before the day begins that it is making an impact. Number four, rhetorical questions. Now, this rhetorical questions is sometimes very important. Mostly politicians or inspirational visionary leaders who are talking to a large group of people can put a rhetorical question. Like on the screen, on the presentation, you see an example, a question which opens the mind where if we don't, who will? If we will not work hard, who will work hard? If we will not learn, who will learn? This is how it makes a difference where you turn passive listeners into the active listeners. So, whether it be metaphors and analogies, whether it be stories and anecdotes or contrasts or rhetorical questions, this is how you can structure your words and you can make a difference to your audience. And a question to ask that why does your business exist, how it can impact in your business, how you can use these techniques. Number two, where we are not just talking about what you are speaking, we are talking about whether there is a substance in it. Talking is one thing, but whether that makes sense or not, whether that has a substance in it or not. We finance professionals talk about substance word very significantly. Substance comes up in so many things in the finance professionals word. So, and substance is relevant everywhere. Now, how there can be a substance, how you can make a difference, what you are actually saying. The first thing is three-part list. Now, three, many of you would have already realized that three is a pattern. Many times it happens that when a person is giving any lesson or anything, people talk in terms of three. Because three is easy to understand, three is easy to remember, and as I said, three is a pattern. If we talk about the story, what we had taken in this presentation, uh, we can say that when we talk about idli, hotter, softer, and faster. Idli served in a restaurant, that the idli is hot, idli is soft, and it is served faster. Whenever you go to a restaurant, you would like to be served faster. And if it is good quality, you are served well, it makes an impact. So the three is something which feels complete. Whatever you are doing, you see how you can make this three-part list. Number six, moral conviction. Now, this moral conviction is very important because here we talk about ethics. And there have been examples of charismatic leaders who were not ethical, and that made a big chaos. Now, we don't have, whether we are doing a small thing or a big thing, everywhere ethics matter. For finance professionals, whether you are in industry or you are serving as a professional practitioner, ethics matter. I have seen CFOs resigning because for them ethics matter. I have seen auditors going back and not signing an audit report because for them ethics matter. If we talk about this story today, what we have taken and the values of that entrepreneur Lakshmi, she says that never an idli we wouldn't feed our family. So if we, because for everyone family is important and everyone at their homes eat a good food. So if we are not eating something which is of bad quality, then we don't serve our customers also. So whether it is a business of a restaurant or any other thing, I have given an example of a profession. This moral conviction in any business makes a significant difference. Then reflecting a group sentiment. When we say reflecting a group sentiment, and we will leave what's written on the slide, let us go into an example where a business is facing significant issues. The salaries have not been maybe paid on time. The business had a cash flow problems, and the leader of the organization has a responsibility to see that their team is encouraged to work harder, have to overcome the problems the business may be facing. In this scenario, and a visionary leader starts speaking, and if he acknowledges the problems, okay, let's say the salaries are not paid on time, and the leader says that I know that you have not got your salaries and we are in a problem, but if we work harder, we are able to overcome. So, if a person upfront acknowledges something, what may be roaming in the mind of the people, then it makes a deep impact. A person has acknowledged the problem in beginning, and if there's something a leader expects his team to do, he or she will be able to make a deep impact. So, this is how reflecting group sentiment works when we talk about substance or one of the observable tactic for a leader. And then number eight, setting high goals. Goals are common in any business. Everyone set goals. And here, if we talk about a restaurant, this restaurant of Lakshmi, she sets a specific and ambitious goal. Best on the street, by Diwali. So, whatever business you are in, or whatever you are doing, whether you are studying, you are professional, if you are able to set the high goals, you will be also able to achieve. So, but until this point of time, we have already gone through 8 tactics. And when it is for a question to be asked to yourself, could your team repeat your goals and values in one sentence? When your team is able to do that, it will be able to make a significant difference. Now, number 9 to 12, which is the body of the message. Number 9 is conveying confidence. Confidence is significantly important, whatever you are doing. So, if a person who is speaking is standing still, he is finishing the sentences, and that's how a person is able to make an impact, because people judge whether this person has a confidence in what he or she is speaking. Then, number 10, animated voice, which is like voice modulation, vary pace and volume, and a whisper can land harder than a shout. A whisper, a pause. When you know that how you have to work with your voice, you will be able to make a deep impact. Then, number 11, facial expression. What you are saying and what is visible on your face should be in sync, and how your gestures are coming up and how your face is being looked at will make a difference. Now, number 12 is gestures, that when whether you are speaking encouraging, how you are using your hands, how you're using your palms, that's how you make an impact. Now, these 12 things can be divided into verbal and non-verbal. Now, from 1 to 9, I'll quickly go back to the slide number 1 to 4, where number 1 was metaphors and analogies, number 2 stories and anecdotes, number 3 contrasts, number 4 rhetorical questions, number 5 three-part list, number 6 moral conviction, number 7 reflecting group sentiment, number 8 setting high goals, and number 9 conveying confidence. These fall in verbal. And from number 10 to 12, animated voice, facial expression, and gestures, these will fall in non-verbal category. That's how these 12 are divided. Now, coming back to Lakshmi, what did she actually said on Monday morning? She said that my grandmother said a good idli is an honest idli, which is a story. And she said that this week we won't cut corners, we will cut waste. So, this is a good example of a contrast, the point which we had taken, that we will not compromise with the quality, but we can cut the waste. And then she said hotter, softer, faster. This is how this three-part list gets implemented. And best tiffin shop on this street by Diwali, and who is with me. So here the two things, the question and also the high goal. So number 2 story, number 3 contrast, number 5 three-part list, number 8 high goal. So there are more 4, which out of those 12 tactics which she used, and that made an impact. So when it comes to tactic, you can pick one, you can use it tomorrow, and you need to think which one. So this is a question for you, 5 questions. Whether you have any story to tell, whether you have any goal to share, whether you will follow the story or a list, and if you have thought of one value to name for the things you do, then what would be that value? and important for you to understand that which tactic you would like to try. Now, charisma is a craft. You can pick anything, you can practice for a week, and when you will practice it for a week, you will understand that how it can be used in your day to day affairs, and you will be able to make an impact. So, this is where my presentation ends, and I will stop sharing the screen and invite anyone to share any feedback or any question you have or any comments you would like to make on what we understand by this or what we need to clarify. Anyone can unmute yourself and share it or ask a question. And as we get ready for the question, we need to understand that leadership is important for us. And if I go back to the three essential elements of leadership, it is presence, it is power, and it is warmth. And when we compare that with these 12 tactics, what we learned, we will be able to bring in all those three essential elements of the leadership and make a difference to ourselves and to our audience. One another thing on this essential elements of leadership is we need to understand that when we are speaking, we have to be present and connected to the audience. But sometimes some of the speakers are very loud, which does not go well with the audience. So I had taken an example of the pace, the volume, the voice modulation. So you need to observe that whether your voice is audible, whether your voice is appearing out to be acceptable, and whether people are liking or not, and match your voice to the room you are speaking into. Then another thing that has been observed is many times some of the speakers may become very rude when a question is asked. It may be a simple question which is asked, or it may be a question which cannot be answered. Now, there is a way to handle the questions. If we don't want to answer or if we don't know, it's good to admit that let us take it aside later on. But we never have to become a rude. A question is a question, whether it is an easy question or a difficult question, it does not matter. So a speaker has not to feel biased that whether it's a simple question or a difficult question what has been asked. A speaker has to be attentive to the audience, has to be respectful to the audience, and has to be respectful to the question, and then move on to answer the questions. And when it comes to improving your speaking habits, improving your this how you can learn this these words, metaphors, or similes and contrast, that you can only do when you know how to, when you are preparing a script. In many platforms and forums, a speaker has to give a speech. It is not a presentation with some slides. It is a speech like in Toastmasters, it is done. In TED Talks, it is done. So, when a speaker is coming with his or her speech, they have to develop a script. And when you are developing those script, you pay attention to your words, the words which you are putting it, and in one instant, you will not get your script. It may happen that you will have to do it 3 or 4 times. And when you are reviewing those words again and again, and trying to put in metaphors and similes in that and stories in that, and you are practicing it, delivering it, you will be able to structure your speech better. So those things, which are 8 or 9 points observable tactics, for which you will have to put efforts. You will have to try creating some script, try creating a story or script in a form of a story. There is a very good example of Howard, who took over Starbucks. So he has built a great business and he has been able to build it. He did not started that business. He took over that business. He has been able to build it because his father, I think, was in a business. He got affected. He had an accident, injury. There was no health cover. Then he brought up health cover for all his employees. He brought in ESOPs. So this is when you are able to put together the things that matter, you'll be able to build a business. When it comes to building a business, whether it is building a business, whether it is building a speech which is persuasive, which is inspiring, you can make a difference to yourself. Now there is a question here I have received, one from Mrinal, and she is asking that is there any tactic that you can suggest to gather our thoughts in the best way while giving an answer to any question. Now, when giving an answer to any question, Renal, I would say that be present. One tactic, first thing what is required is that when you have to answer any question, the first thing which is very important and which is irreplaceable is to listen carefully. Many times it happens that when we are listening to some individual, we are not listening to listen to what is being asked. We are listening to answer it quickly, to become defensive. So I would say that the tactic when you have to answer any question, first thing is be fully into that question, listen to it or read it if you have been asked to read it. Take your time, take 10 or 20 seconds, gather your thoughts together, and then build a story. So there are two tactics, I would say, that you know that what you are doing and you are able to build a story which is that impactful. When in a form of a story, you are able to structure your sentences better. You are able to exactly or nearly to what is being asked, that will make an impact. Yeah, thank you. I hope I answered your question, Renal. If there's any further thing you wish to clarify, thank you, Renal, for acknowledging it. Yes, anyone else? If you have any question, you all took time today to come live. Thank you so much. Thank you to each one of you. If you would like me to share this presentation to you, you can message me. You all have my WhatsApp number. You can message me and I will send you this presentation. I hope this 12 leadership tactics, it made a difference to you. Another thing what I would like to suggest is to read couple of books. One, The Key Man, and the second, Bad Blood, where which has a story of two individuals who were not ethical, who were charismatic, but they used it in a wrong way and they suffered the consequences. Yes, Shweta, we have a question. Shweta has raised her hand. Yes, Shweta, please go ahead.
Hello, sir. This is the first time I have joined the session,
Thank
and
you.
thanks for this wonderful session. It was very
Thank,
insightful.
thank
So,
you.
I have
Yeah.
one question.
Yeah.
Sir, what is the biggest difference between the being confident and being charismatic at work?
Being confident and being charismatic. I would say the biggest difference between being confident and being charismatic, what may come in your way, is to remain humble and being comfortable to the person on the other side. Many times it happens that our confidence becomes our arrogance.
Mhm.
Because if we feel like we are too good in our work, and we are very straightforward, we are very specific, that also leads to becoming blunt, becoming arrogant, and which normally people don't like it. So, therefore, if you need to display your confidence, but also appear as charismatic individual or charismatic leader, never forget humility, never forget humbleness. Many times it happens that when such conversation is happening, it is not going our way, or it is not done in a right way, we can it can also lead to an anger, and that anger, if it's coming out, will not go well. So therefore it may happen that when you are taking care of any instance, and your anger is coming in because of that kind of an instance, then stop at that point of time, do not speak if that anger is coming up, and that can further help you to display that humility. I hope I answered my your question,
Yes,
Shweta.
I got it. Yes. And
Thank you
sir,
so much.
one more
Yeah.
question. Like,
Mm.
what are the common mistakes people do while trying to be charismatic at work?
Two common mistakes while trying to be charismatic. See,
I mean, it two,
when
maybe.
yeah, see, when it comes to being charismatic, it is not like you have to try to be charismatic. It should come out naturally. One thing is, uh, everyone is not perfect, or everyone is not complete. Everyone is different. We need to
Mhm.
understand that everyone is different. So therefore, when it comes to applying certain things in your life, you do it in such a way that you appear natural, and you only do those things which you accept it, and you are able to do it confidently, and that's how, you know, that charisma, that power will come out. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes.
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 Yeah,
Okay.
so it is like 40 minutes we have spent. That was my target, to cover this, to have some interaction with you, and to cover this presentation. I express my deep gratitude to each one of you. Normally, we do a session under CA Speakers Forum on every Saturday, where we have done sessions on taxation and on IFRS, on artificial intelligence, and we do it normally at 11 a.m. UA time. Today, as I said in the beginning, that I was not available, so we gave it a break. For the past 5.5 months, we have been doing it. Next week on 11 a.m. Saturday, we are meeting in CS Speakers Forum with a session on agentic AI, and there are many sessions being, almost 4 sessions every month is our target, and sessions have been planned for different topics, for taxation, for IFRS, until mid of September. I thank you for joining. Many of you joined for the first time today. To keep supporting us, to continue joining in CA Speakers Forum session, which are for everyone. And only thing what is there is that those sessions are taken by speakers who are Indian chartered accountants. That is what we have been following, and that's a forum of Indian chartered accountants. But when it comes to sharing knowledge, it's open for everyone. One example came into my mind, that if you see this Microsoft transformation, and the current CEO Satya Nadella, he said that, you know, from that know it all, we have to go to learn it all, and where we don't think that we know everything. Because today, in times of artificial intelligence, in times of resources, so many resources, we feel that the knowledge of the outside world is our own knowledge, and that is where we make a deep mistake. And if you see into the transformation of Microsoft, it happened because the employees of the Microsoft came up to learn different things, and to make also others learn. That's how their incentives were also built, that how you are helping your team. The purpose of this CA Speakers Forum is to spread the knowledge, to help everyone, and these sessions are available on YouTube channel, CA Prabdeep Singh Baweja. You can go back and have a look at it. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day ahead. Take good care of yourself. I'm always available for anything. And please do reach out if there's any question you have.